Wow, the light situation in here sucks. It's not this other light, but that's all right. Put this on, and um, it's been a while. There you go. Better. All right. So it's been a little while. So where have I been? Well, basically, I went to New York for 2 weeks during early November because things actually happen in New York. You can actually meet people, and there's actually like chaos. Melon is very introverted, so New York is a better fit for me because you meet just random people or show up to random places. Now, did I make any new friends and exciting new love interests? No, but I had fun. So one downside about New York, though, is you can't exactly give these kind of rants in New York because, frankly, the walls are thin. So I don't like bothering people at home. I'd rather be a quiet neighbor. But now I'm back in Maryland for now. Gonna go back up for the month of January, January 3rd to February 3rd. So basically, gonna kind of do 1 month on, 1 month back here. My living expenses here are very very cheap, and up there they're obscenely expensive. So if I go month on, month off, it kind of averages out to a normal living situation. And it turns out you can just do stuff like that. You don't need to follow any kind of set rules about what you can and can't do. Right? You can do whatever you want, provided you have the money to do it and the ability to work remote. But the point being is that that's why I was out. And then I had Thanksgiving week and now weekend. It's been busy. Long story short, I'm back for now. And the other factor is that talking about politics, which is what I do here, stop being as fun. Um, I haven't switched sides or anything, but the fact is that it's not as much fun representing a side when a significant, a small portion of your side isn't actually trying to win very well. Um, I do to give credit where credit's due. We all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the more far right tech people. A few things that are going to be that they have good points on. One, they're going to be more isolationist. I don't think that's a good point or a bad point. I think if you have a particular ideology with foreign affairs, you're playing amateur league. Sometimes you want to intervene, sometimes you don't. There's no set policy. The idea of a Bush doctrine or an Obama doctrine is retarded. It's just very, very dumb. Um, you don't have an ideology. You deal with the facts on the ground. Maybe somebody's nice to you. Maybe they're not. Maybe you can make a deal. You don't know. Having a set doctrine for foreign policy, to me, shows that you're a moron. I think that if you have a doctrine in your foreign policy that's a set doctrine, Obama didn't do this, actually. I give credit for him for that. The idea of a Bush doctrine, what the hell are you thinking, man? That's not how foreign policy works. If you look at any great diplomat, they're not looking at a doctrine. Like, that's the stupidest thing people could possibly say. That said, isolationism has its place. Second, going a little bit more leftward in economic issues. I think the writing is on the wall. That's why Mamdani won. People can't afford to live. It's really, really expensive. Things are expensive. People are like, oh, your computers are cheaper. Yeah, but if you can't afford good food, if you can't afford housing, it doesn't matter. And a lot of people are not making it. Now, has inflation per year per month gone down since Trump got into office? Yes, but it's still bad. Like it can be better, but still be bad. That's the thing. And the fact that they're trying to imagine that it's not an issue. No, that's not true. Actually, they are saying it's an issue, but they don't really know how to fix it. And I don't think anybody really knows how to fix it. That's kind of the issue. Um, some people say, "Oh, tax the rich more." Okay. What's tax income? No, that actually affects the middle class a lot more than it affects rich people. What's tax investments? Sure. When do you sell? When do you tax? Do you tax something when they have it? Well, then you're taxing stuff when it just goes up. So why do people hold stock? Or do you tax when you sell it? Well, they have ways of passing stocks on from generation to generation without ever actually selling it. They just have the stock. I'm not saying you shouldn't tax the rich more. I think we absolutely do need to tax the rich more. I'm just saying that the classic like ways people have to do that don't answer the question. Now, if we are coming up with financial innovations every other decade, I'm pretty sure the people on Wall Street could figure out a way to tax themselves. We're just not asking them to. So those are points that the wilder side of the fight is saying. And there are people in the more censored, like more normal way who are saying the same things. Like the Lotus Eaters, I would consider the more normal wing, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, like all of these people. And most people are seeing that we need to focus more on economic, like populism, populism. You know, and then that includes the certain Nick Fuentes, who's also saying that stuff, along with a lot of other stuff. I don't care what your policies are. If you have a rant that you talk about, I don't actually want to say the rant because it's really, really nasty. But basically, you say that a certain J group controls everything, that a certain W group needs to be submissive to everybody else, and a certain B group should be in prison. You're not gonna win. It's not a good. It's a stupid ass thing to say. It's you don't say that stuff. It's offensive. It actually is offensive. Like I'm all for like edgy jokes and everything, but like when you're actually saying that kind of stuff, you're not trying to win. You're not gonna win with that policy, with that with somebody representing you with that idea. How do you think you're going to win? They're like, oh, Gen Z likes us. Okay, so you have half of men who are white in Gen Z. That's like 20, 10, 15% of the population in that group. How are you going to win with that? You're not. Oh, your feelings are better. Oh, my feelings. He speaks to the person I want to be. Okay, fuck you. Fuck you. If you're gonna talk so much about stoicism and like being a man and being like rational, you can't let your feelings dictate who you're going to have represent you. You're acting exactly how you imagine that the left acts. Except the left doesn't act like this. The left, is, when it comes to politics, actually acts very rationally and disciplined, and they have like they stick together. They don't spend the entire time attacking the same side. They don't do that. That is a stupid thing to do. Now, we do allow division to happen in the right. That we allow conversation, argument, but that's different than just attacking Ben Shapiro for God knows what reason. Oh, you don't like him because he's annoying. Yeah, but you know what he's actually done? You haven't. He's established a media presence and a media company that's lasted 20 years and has hired people and brought new people, new influencers into the state. What have you done, Nick? You haven't done anything like that. And you know what? I think you're a grifter, and I think you're actually fake, and I think you're funded by the feds. Sorry, that's what I think. That's my conspiracy theory. You have them too. Mine makes more sense because you. And now, granted, he's done some more stuff to tone down his rhetoric, which maybe he's broken up or whatever. Um, but when it comes down to it, like that guy's not going to win. It's not going to happen. Um, just plain and simple. So what else is there? But anyway, that makes it less fun. If I know that like a quarter of my side, probably around a quarter of my side, is not even trying to win, and they're like, "Oh, but you don't see in the long run, we're gonna do something." It's like, no, you're not gonna do. No, you're not gonna do shit. You gotta do things in the current system we have through convincing people, persuasion, talking. You know, the stuff that you make fun of, being a talker. Oh, no, okay, yeah, sure. There is a place eventually in some situations, not Americans, and not the American situation, where some kind of conflict might be necessary. In the UK, maybe, for example. Not saying it should or shouldn't, but just say that's possible, could develop in that direction. It's not gonna be freaking Nick Fuentes leading that. It's not gonna be somebody like him. It's gonna be like somebody serious, somebody who has control, somebody who's stoic, somebody who is a man. Anyway, that's what makes it less fun because I like to fight. I see politics as a game. And maybe that makes me a psychopath. I don't care. If a quarter of my side doesn't want to do the things necessary to win, it's very hard to really be invested in it because it's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna try to lose. Okay, I don't care about the cause if you're gonna try to lose. I care about winning. You don't. So if you're not gonna take it seriously, and And people are like, "Oh, it doesn't matter what they think." Well, yeah, it kind of does because if 25% of Republicans don't vote, we lose. And that's what Nick Fuentes said to Trump supporters in the last election. He told them not to vote. He said Kamala Harris would be a better president because they would get people madder. One, absolute one. That's just a bad take. People he was joking. No, it doesn't sound like he's joking. He's not a funny guy. He's not funny. He's like, oh, he's joking. No, he's not. He's going on edgelord rants, which have a place. But at a certain point, if you're going to be leading a movement, you need to actually be a serious person who actually has an idea of how to convince people who may not agree with them. That's my thought. Anyway, it's just not fun anymore. No, obviously, I went on a 10-minute van. My house not fun anymore, so maybe it's a little bit fun. But that's it. Next topic. My hair is going away. So goodbye, hair. Then it's nice to have. All right, next topic. Oh no, so I finished an anime, Anohana. Really good. If you're looking for something that's just kind of like a cool, basically, not giving anything away, but a guy's childhood friend starts hanging out with him as a ghost, and she wants to bring the friends together, her old friends back together. And you don't think it's gonna make you cry, and you're like, "Oh, this is nice. It's a nice story." And oh no, oh no, oh no, and it gets worse and worse. Not worse and worse, but it gets sadder and sadder. And then the final scene, you're like, "Yeah, it's so sad," and it's just great. Just me, it's just freaking amazing. Um, this friendship, not anything more complicated than that. Letting yourself cry, and that kind of stuff. Like I'm stoic, but there's places to have tears, and a good piece of entertainment is one of them. Really good. I'm watching a few other things now. Campfire Cooking Another World. If you just want something, if you're stressed out from work, and you just want to watch a TV show for 30 minutes, it's great. He makes food. His food makes these magical animals follow him. It's basically Animal Friendship, the anime, where he's cooking basically convinces these people to convince like a giant wolf dude or dragon guy to basically be his buddies, which is great. I'm also watching Makina, Too Many Losing Heroines, which is I taking a break from it because of my mood, but it's a really fun show. It's basically all of the rejected characters from romance animes all become this one guy's friend, and there's nothing. Well, they might do something with one of the characters. I'm on the last two episodes, but it's basically like all these characters, and he's just friends with them, and they're just trying to get over their breakups with people they really liked, who the things didn't work out with. They think of every minor character in the romance anime, and they all get together into one show. It's great. The thing I'm watching, ReZero is so excellent. So that's as far as I get serious, I go. This is good anime. ReZero is excellent. Um, weak character gets isekai. No, basically no powers. Mostly no powers, especially compared to the people that he goes up against. Um, but when he dies, he gets back to a checkpoint, and he can use the knowledge that he gains before he died, but after the checkpoint to get to the next stage. And just about struggle and pain, and you just keep going, and that's the kind of a good message. So the final thing I want to talk about is yogurt versus icing. So something I noticed is I eat a lot of yogurt. I eat probably like 3 of those small bins of Greek yogurt a week for breakfast and mix it with oats and blueberries. And actually, just now I had it with chocolate chips and oats. And it just strikes me that from a taste profile standpoint, it tastes very similar to icing. Like yogurt and icing can be used interchangeably, except yogurt, especially Greek yogurt, non-sweetened, is nice sweetened with honey. I think my kid, but still, it's not as much. Is way better for you nutritionally than icing. So it's almost like icing is, which isn't a lot of things, cookies, all these things, cakes, cookies, cakes, everything. It's a food that we almost like. It is copying the taste profile of a food that's actually pretty good for us, yogurt. With the fermented, everything is fermented. It's got a lot of protein, fats. Generally, like healthy if you don't get the sugary kind. So what we've done as a society is we've replaced foods that are healthy for us with foods that are not, that are much worse for us, but could scratch the same tongue itch. So what I would advise if you're trying to lose weight or be healthy or just not be bad is I would advise trying to. This is simple. Again, yeah. I would advise trying to where are you replacing natural foods that are good for you with bad foods in your diet? I think that is the source of a lot of our overweightness. We replace butter with margarine. We replace olive oil with vegetable oil. We replace yogurt with icing. We replace real bread with fake bread. So on and so forth. Like I'm all for capitalism and everything, but and this is actually not even capitalism. This is like who we subsidize, like as a society. There's things wrong. It's very clear. And instead of doing all this virtue signaling with SJW bullshit, I wish some of these CEOs and stuff, or even right wing bullshit, would get together and say we can organize to have better food for our societies. I feel like they don't take any accountability. I feel like the old WASPs took a lot more societal accountability for things, in my opinion. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll see if I ever come back. Cheers.